Hello everyone, GoldenNova here, and welcome to another episode of Plus Ones, a series where we take a single card, break down what it does, and explore what it can do. Reception to the 2020 Megaton Premier cards has been sour, to say the least. And I can get that. It can be a pretty bitter pill to swallow given how good these reprint sets have been over the past few years. To make sure we're all on the same page, Konami has made yearly Megaton releases part of their product rotation since 2014, and took the place of the smaller collectible tins, which were released on a more frequent basis. The draw of the tins was that they were a bundled deal. For 20 bucks you'd get 5 packs, which would already cover that cost, as well as some predetermined promos and a sturdy metal tin to keep your cards in, both new and old. The tins would also come out in pairs, with their own unique promos and pack distribution, so if you didn't want the contents of one, maybe the other would catch your fancy. Or it just made you want to buy both. FOMO is a heck of a trick. However, in 2014, the tins got bigger and the spoils got shinier. On top of the tins getting physically larger, the 5 core set packs were swapped out with 3 remixed mega packs. Containing more than 50% more cards than a standard booster, the set list was made up of cards from the previous year of core sets, and each came with a guaranteed secret, ultra, super, and rare. So on top of becoming a vector for small batch releases by way of these separate promos, this was lauded by the player base as a set that would reprint a number of high impact cards over the past year, helping to drive down their prices on the secondary market while giving people who bought sealed product another chance to pull it. However, none of this compared to the absolute bombshell that was the 2019 Gold Sarcophagus Megaton. Not only did it include rarities being shuffled around so you could enjoy old favorites at a higher rarity, not only did it include releases from a deck build pack, something that was unheard of at the time, but it also included 3 world premiere promos that demanded the attention of the player base. And while some have proven to be more useful than others, they were all made and left an impression of being generic answers to current competitive trends. However, so far the Tin of Lost Memories has felt like a bit of a downgrade. As far as we can tell, the new cards that have been revealed are not being added as separate promos, but as part of the Megaton set proper. Now, even if the new cards were on the same level as the Gold Sarcophagus releases, there would still undoubtedly be displeasure about there not being separate promos. But since some people are going to pull Yugi and Seto support instead of an ultra rare they would have found more useful, well, I can understand the frustration. Losing the promos, something that's been a staple in the tins for, well, forever, just doesn't feel like it can be leveled out by adding 3 more ultras and supers. And because these new inclusions will make it harder for people to pull the ultras they were looking for, it kind of feels like they've already poisoned the well before this new tin format has been given a shot by the player base. And I feel like these frustrations are being directed solely at these new cards, treating them as absolute trash additions to the game, and I think that's pretty misguided. Now, I won't be going to bat today for Destined Rivalry or Strength and Unity. These are some fine cards that have some fun interaction, but no more so than a card like Dark Magic Twin Burst. But one card that I think has some real potential that can actually solve some real issues in legacy decks like Dark Magician is Successor Soul. Referencing the final moment of Kaiba's duel against Ishizu, this quick play spell has you tributing 1 effect monster, then you target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. On resolution, you send your opponent's monster to the grave, then special summon a level 7 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck. You can only activate 1 Successor Soul per turn, and you can only attack with 1 monster the turn you use it. To date, there are 37 normal monsters that fit into this condition, but while I'd love to go into the utility of being able to summon a Ghost Beef from your deck like never before, we'll be focusing on just a few select members. In keeping with the rest of the new support, and ironic considering the reference, I think Dark Magician has the most to gain from this inclusion. I touched on this when talking about Magician's Robe in my top 10 700 attack monster video, but Dark Magician does not have a lot of good ways to summon their ace monster from the deck. Now, you can turn errant Magician's Rods, Robes, and other sundry monsters into Dark Magician, and bonus, it's actual removal. Like, it's terrifying how little interaction you have in this theme that's straightforward to access. And because it's a quick play, you now have another way to trigger the Dark Illusion era Dark Magician support. All in all, it fits very neatly into their game plan, and the only thing I have to complain about it is that it's not even more specifically Dark Magician support. Like, imagine being able to search this off a Magician's Rod summon or Dark Magic Circle activation. Absolutely ridiculous. A lot of Red Eye support is focused on the fusion cards, so being able to summon Joey's Dragon from the deck isn't quite as high a priority because of Red Eye's fusion. However, if you ever wanted to make Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon, this is one of the better ways to do it. Honestly, one of the few themes I think this doesn't fit into is Blue Eyes. The deck already has so many great ways to work around their level 8 Garnet, it kind of feels like this would just get in the way. Now, what you could do if you wanted to be silly is use it to summon Dragon Core Hexer. By sending them and Blue Eyes to the grave, you can access Phantasmal Lord Ultimatal Bish Balkan, Ultimaya Zolkin's older brother. If summoned to the extra monster zone, you can make 5 tokens on both sides of the field, leaving you with 6 link material to work with. As long as you can clear out your opponent's field, you can start ramping up the advantage, and the only restriction you're under is that you can only attack with a single monster. Or you could just turn Hexer and Blue Eyes into Halqifibrax, why not? A theme that wasn't touched on in the reveal that I think is severely overlooked is Elemental Hero Neos. Getting the level 7 Muscular Mountain of the Nebulous Neos space has always been one of the most difficult parts of summoning out any of their associated Neos fusion monsters. And since some of these monsters have effects like draw cards based on your opponent's field presence, then banish it all face down, to shut off all of your opponent's effects for the turn, then destroy it all, Successor Soul puts you one step closer to accessing some ridiculous swings in both tempo and card economy. I also think there are some synergies with both Pacifist Spiral and Heratic, the former letting you get rid of effect monsters to summon the big worm, while the latter lets you trigger the on-tribute effects while summoning big normal monsters. But both of those themes, as I recall, are a rather bit more complex than a short +1 can cover, so at this point, I wanted to reach out to all of you. How best do you think Successor Soul can be utilized in decks that I've mentioned up till now? And are there any combos or themes I've missed out on that this card can enhance? Let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.